Many of my friends on the other side of the aisle want to put Social Security on the chopping block. If anyone here tries to cut Social Security, Medicare, or raise the retirement age, I will stop you. We have two ways to go. Republicans can cut Social Security and give more tax breaks to the wealthy. That's the proposal. Oh no.
The first Social Security-like program was created during the Great Depression of the 1930s, when poverty rates among senior citizens exceeded 50%. It was August 14, 1935 to be exact, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Today, a hope of many years standing is in large part fulfilled. The civilization of the past 100 years, with its startling industrial changes, has tended more and more to make life insecure. Young people have come to wonder what would be their lot when they came to old age. The man with a job has wondered how long the job would last. This Social Security measure gives at least some protection to 30 millions of our citizens who will reap direct benefits through unemployment compensation, through old age pensions, and through increased services for the protection of children and the prevention of ill health. We can never insure 100% of the population against 100% of the hazards and vicissitudes of life, but we have tried to frame a law which will give some measure of protection to the average citizen and to his family against the loss of a job and against poverty-stricken old age.
First term by the President's Committee on the Economic Security under Frances Perkins, and was passed by Congress as part of the New Deal. So, why did Roosevelt introduce Social Security other than to help some older people from being poor when they retired? Well, the act was an attempt to limit what was seen as dangers in modern American life, including old age, poverty, unemployment, and burdens of widows and fatherless children, which are still problems today, by the way, almost 100 years later. Before we move on, ask yourself, did this solve the problem? No, it didn't. By signing this act on August 14, 1935, President Roosevelt became the first president to advocate federal assistance to the elderly. An act provided benefits to retirees and unemployed, a lump sum payment at death. Now, we have different programs for unemployment people, nothing for widows. When you pass away, you get nothing, and fatherless children get money off of their taxes. Last but not least, there are no more the availability to get a lump sum payment at the end. Just imagine this. You work your whole entire life, let's just say from 18 to 50, 32 years. And during this time, you pay thousands of dollars into the system. And let's get some numbers here. The average American makes almost $60,000 per year. So that means 6.2% is coming out of your paycheck and 6.2% is coming out of your employers. Let's just focus on you for a second here. Social Security and Medicare are two different things. Medicare is 2.5%, let's ignore that. Let's just pay attention specifically to 6.2% of your paycheck, which goes towards Social Security, which for this scenario would leave you off with $3,720. And this is exactly what you pay every single year. Let's just say 25 years of this. To be on the safe side, that's $93,000 on the low end by the time you retire. According to the IRS benefits tracker, if I were to retire at 67 years old, I would get back $2,148 per month. If the program is still around, God willing, which is most certainly not going to be true, from 67 years old to 87 years old, I will be getting back an astonishing $515,520. This is what the government does not want to tell you, and your grandparents certainly will not tell you. Also, this is only based on 67 years old to 87 years old, but you can retire at 62, and let's just say, God willing, you live until 100. That's 38 years of being on the system, which means that you will take $850,608. This is exactly why when the average life expectancy goes up, so does the money that we are paying for Grammy and Grandpa. It's true. Also, Also, if we do a little bit of digging, we will see that during the year that this retirement age was set, this was at 65, which was in 1935. The average age that people would die was around 60. That's why when it was created, everyone knew that most workers would not live for an extended period after retirement, and thus would not receive a substantial amount of Social Security and quote-unquote benefits for a minimum amount of time. That's quoting from Social Security itself here. Also, we can see that by the year 1940s, there was this little thing called pensions, which is the same exact thing as Social Security. It was offered on the private scale, which is exactly how it's supposed to be, by the way. This is when your company that you worked for pays you every single year for retirement. In the 1940s, almost 10 million Americans already had this part of their benefits, which was about 25% of the population at the time. Now, 56% of workers, including the private sectors, state and local government, around 145 million people, have some sort of retirement account, which includes 19% for pensions. Pensions went down over time. Why is that? That's because they're so heavily reliant on Social Security, companies don't really see the necessity to actually pay so much money for pension plans. What is the solution here, guys? The solution to the Social Security problem was never to have it in the first place. But since we obviously cannot go in a time portal and go back in time and actually, kill this very idea at its face, then we need to actually do something smart here. And that is to actually phase out the system. You need to actually phase off of the system and still allow everyone from 60 years old onward to get rewarded from the program because of the fact that they already have it in their minds that they deserve quote unquote something because they paid into the system. And I can see exactly where they're coming from here. Sadly, the government took money from these people in the very first place. But as we just showed, you get way more back than you have ever put into the system. So that, folks, is a Ponzi scheme. So no, when you pay Social Security and Medicare, your money does not go into a box with your name on it and it says at the date at which you will turn 65. No, it does not do that. Instead, what happened was the government used your money. It's gone. Get used to it, it's gone. They used your money years ago who were on the Social Security and Medicare at the time. That's what they were using your money for. It's gone. The solution is to phase off the program because your money that you paid there is not there anymore. You're using my money, the money I'm paying into the system. Because I'm paying and I'm not gonna get the system benefits when I retire because it's not gonna be a thing. 2035, only 35% of the people on Social Security and Medicare will be covered on that very system. That means that they will have to go into debt for the United States to actually pay for the system and its benefits. The solution here is to phase off the program and allow the privatization of the system by letting you prove that you are investing the same 6.2% into an IRA account or a personal investment account instead of letting the government touch it. Like we learned time and time again, if the government touches your money, you will not get any sort of common sense at all. The government touches your money to just touch the money. And they're using Social Security and Medicare as the slush fund to prove how much funding they're actually getting as if it's an income tax. It's not an income tax. They're using this to actually say that, oh, we make more money actually have available to us. That's why we have so much debt in America. If you like my reporting and you want to support what we do here, visit shop.overjoestudios.com and you can actually support this deep dive and a lot more, like my show that I have, The Demetrius Super Joe Show, every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you do like my takes on things. And if you do visit shop.overjoestudios, it is actually free shipping. You can use code SCHEME and it actually gives you 15% off. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. If you did like this episode and you do want to see more, please like and subscribe down below so I know that you like this kind of stuff.